What is up, guys? In today's video I want to talk about the 3 biggest mistakes that I see in myself for the past couple of years, and also pretty much everyone else that I see that I speak with, been in between 18 to like 22, 25 years old. So many people make these mistakes, these 3 different mistakes, and it holds them back from actually finding success and doing more things in life and achieving their goals that they set out for themselves. So what are these 3 things? Thing number 1 is letting emotions, specifically fear, dictate your decisions in life. This is a huge mistake that I was making, and a lot of other people make as well. It's basically where you have big goals, you have big visions of things that you say that you want. You tell yourself, you tell other people that you want to start a business, for example. You want to do all these things, make all this money. But when it comes down to actually making decisions and taking the actions required to get there, for example, stepping into uncertainty, investing the money that it takes to build a business, putting in the time, then you let your emotions of, for example, feeling fear, feeling a bit uncomfortable, you let that dictate your decision, and you hold back, you stay inside of your comfort zone when you feel those feelings, and that ultimately holds you back from finding success. So how do you overcome that? It's pretty simple. Thing number 1 is usually getting mentorship, investing into mentorship, getting some coaching to get help on like how to overcome those like limiting beliefs and mindset issues, and also just realizing in general that like the biggest risk that you have in life is not doing anything at all. Because if you just stay inside of your comfort zone, if you make decisions out of a place of fear, you will never grow. You will never actually change your life, because the best decisions that you make, the times where you really change your life, is when you're willing to become uncertain and you're willing to face your fears. That's when you grow. So just realizing that will help you overcome mistake number 1, which is letting fear dictate your decisions. Mistake number 2 is kind of tied to this. It's listening too much to your parents, and it can also be people in your surrounding as well. So what I mean by that is your parents, pretty much most cases, if you're someone who have big goals, big dreams, you want to become an entrepreneur, you want to be able to build a business, whatever it is, if you or something like that, and your parents haven't achieved exactly what you want to achieve, which is pretty much like 99% of the cases, that's the case. If your parents haven't achieved what you want to achieve, you should not be listening to them and listening to their advice on making big decisions, specifically making decisions tied to your business. Because I see this so often where I speak with someone on a sales call. They want to start their own business, they have this vision of their own life. They tell me even early on the call that they want to live a life that's different from their parents. They want to break free of the 9-to-5 cycle. And their parents are in 9-to-5s, making maybe, let's say, 5K per month, working 9-to-5. And then at the end of the call, they tell me that they want to speak with their parents and hear their thoughts before deciding to make this decision and go into it. And the thing with that is, especially when you're younger, when you're like 18 years old, 20 years old, it's like you're used to having your parents make your decisions for you. And the same thing for me as well, is like it's scary to break free and make your own decisions, but that's what it takes. Because you can't listen to someone, even if it's your parent, even if you have an emotional connection to them, you can't be listening to someone who hasn't achieved what you want to achieve to get advice on what to do to achieve what you want to achieve. Like, that makes no sense. I'm never gonna give you the right guidance because you don't have the right perspective. And in most cases, they don't have the right perspective on like what to do to become an entrepreneur or make a business successful, which means you shouldn't be listening to them at all on that advice. So does it mean you should just ignore your parents and just like ghost them and like leave them alone and like never talk to them again? No, obviously not. Like, you still love your parents and like have a good relationship with them. But what does it mean? It means that you shouldn't be listening to them in specific advice on what to do to achieve the specific goals in your, so for example, in your career, if we're talking about business aspect of this. So that's mistake number 2. Don't listen to your parents, make your own decisions, and listen to people who has actually achieved what you want to achieve to get better advice from them. Last thing is kind of tied into this as well. It's last mistake and last like thing I see people do wrong, and I did wrong as well for some time, is staying in your hometown. See, too many people, they stay in their hometown, they stay surrounded by the same people that they've been growing up with. And I talked about this in the previous video as well, that like that's a huge mistake, because you've been growing up with these people, you probably have fun together, you know, hanging out with them. But the thing is, if you're someone who want to grow, if you're someone who wants to do more than people you're surrounded with, if you want to do greater things, you can't be hanging out with people who's stuck in the past, people who are living in the same life. Because the thing is, like, when you're back in your hometown, like in most cases, like you're gonna be surrounded by people who's just living the same life over and over again, doing the same thing, and you're not gonna be growing as much as you could if you were traveling. And that's the thing, is that for me, for example, when I left my hometown and went like halfway across the world, went to Colombia, like I've grown more than I could ever like even imagine, like not even close to where I would have been if I would stayed back in Sweden, in my hometown. I've been able to like meet new people, do more things, be able to just see more cultures and new experiences, which completely changed my life. So that's a big mistake, is like staying at home. It's obviously it's comfortable, it's like you're used to being with these people, but you have to break free and kind of break yourself out there if you want to achieve greater things in your life. So that's the 3 mistakes that I see people make and how you solve them as well. That's the video for today, guys, and I hope you got some good takeaways, and I'll see you guys tomorrow in the next video. Ciao.